Hollywood always get Bible movies so wrong? How could you cast Batman as Moses and still have the movie be more boring than church? Plus, they should have saved Christian Bale to play Jacob. Rachel! There are two problems when it comes to faith-based movies. Number one, most Christian films look cheap because they don't have the budget. Money may be the root of all evil, but it's also the root of a good movie. The second problem is when Hollywood attempts to make their own faith movie, which is when you get Noah talking to rock monsters. Was a global flood not epic enough for you, Hollywood? Most faith-based movies fall apart quickly. And watching them is like walking on Legos with your eyes. It's hard to feel God in a faith-based film when they have the production value of a church play.
I don't feel safe!
Hey, you don't cry until the last scene!
Pray for them. Hollywood has all of the production value, but none of the Christian value. How can we as believers enjoy a faith-based film that's as enjoyable as a blockbuster, but retains the power and truth of the Bible? We need a Hollywood-quality movie created by actual believers, and that movie is The Shift. It's about a man who meets the devil himself and gets banished to a dark, parallel earth where he fights to get back to the woman he loves. The script explores some of today's hardest questions about maintaining faith, like how can a loving God allow suffering? Or how can I overcome feelings of despair and hopelessness? Finally, you can see a faith-based film that feels like your favorite movies. The Shift is a sci-fi film that will make you think deeply like Inception and weep like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar. Man, even his ugly cry looks good. I can't do it. I can't. I'm not that talented. Using popular genres to share faith-based stories is a great way to entertain and inspire a love for God. Look at C.S. Lewis, who used fantasy to share Christian themes and inspire millions. And make millions. Even Jesus used creative storytelling to make his sermons more interesting. Parables. I'm talking about parables. We need your help to turn The Shift into a full-length feature film. But rather than pass around a donation plate, we want you to own part of the movie. Express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today to be among the first to know if the offering launches. The plan is for The Shift to be distributed by Angel Studios, which helped The Chosen become the largest crowdfunded media project of all time. Angel Studios' distribution of The Chosen then went on to generate over $70 million in revenue and over 250 million views. Here's what the creator of The Chosen has to say about The Shift.
I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift, and I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level.
Angel Studios also helped the Wingfeather Saga, an animated fantasy series created by a Christian author, become the largest crowdfunded kids and family animated project in history. When you invest in The Shift, you're not just investing in a groundbreaking Christian film. You have the potential to share in the profits. Now, we don't have one of these prophets to promise that you'll make this profit. But I am going to repeat that The Chosen earned $70 million in revenue. That's the highest earning faith-based project of the last 2 years. The Shift not only has the incredible potential in the marketplace, it's just an incredible movie. Listen to these reviews from folks who watched the short film. Jane F. wrote, "This looks amazing. I've never seen a faith-based film like this." Ronnie said, "There's actually no way to convey how this spoke to me just now. I look forward to seeing what God does with this film." And Jason commented recently with, "Wow, just wow." And what will really wow you is discovering that the short film was created with almost zero budget and it has already touched hundreds of thousands of lives. Imagine the impact The Shift can have on hearts and minds with the proper funds. Most indie Christian films operate with a budget of about $500,000, and honestly, it shows. She's fine. Maybe the little shepherd boy could say a quick prayer? Yeah, we good? With 10 times the production value, we can truly do justice to the epic themes in the Bible. So express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today. Look, there's nothing wrong with a film that's a labor of love, but those usually just become cult classics, which is not the best label for a Christian movie to receive. Enjoy Sunday morning values with Saturday night entertainment. Click on the link to express your interest in backing The Shift today to be among the first to know if the offering launches.
Hello, welcome everybody to tonight's live stream for The Shift. My name is Brock Heasley. I'm the writer and director of The Shift.
And I'm Orlando J. Gomez, producer of The Shift.
And we are really happy to be with you. I know we're a little late tonight. We had some technical difficulties, so thank you for sticking with us through that. We want to especially welcome any of you who are joining us for the first time tonight. We have seen a lot of people coming to The Shift for the first time in the past couple of weeks, and that is always a fun thing to see. And so we hope that what you hear tonight gets you even more excited. I think we've got some really special things in store for tonight. Right now, what's going on with The Shift, if you go over to angel.com/The Shift, you can see everything that's happening. Right now, what we're doing is we are trying to gauge interest in another round of crowdfunding. We're trying to see if people want us to open investments back up, and we're asking you to basically come to angel.com/The Shift to pledge. So you're just saying, hey, I would love to do that. I would love to invest if another round opens up. Here's about how much I'd like to invest. And by the way, here's my email. Now, that's a really important piece of this. We want to get your email so that we can reach out to you if we decide to open it up again, so we can let you know what's happening.
Yeah, it's the only way for them to know that we're actually doing it, and the only way for them to invest is if, the email.
Exactly.
So don't unsubscribe.
So yes, please don't unsubscribe if you get those emails, and look, check your spam folders. If you've pledged and you haven't received any emails in the last week, check your spam folder. It might be in there. So that's just something to check on. Yeah. So one of the things that we're going to be doing during this live stream tonight is we're going to be taking your questions. So if you have questions, please let us know, and we will answer them as best we can. We've got a really, really cool lineup tonight. Tonight, it's just going to be me and Orlando, but don't be disappointed by that. We've got some really cool stuff to share. We got an exciting new thing that we're going to be releasing to the public tonight. Yep. It's going to be happening during this live stream. We're going to save that for right now. I'm only teasing it right now, but it is coming. Oh, we've got somebody watching from, it went by so quickly I didn't even see. I think it was Hawaii. We got Derek here, who is a first-timer for The Shift. Welcome, Derek. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the short film.
Nancy.
Oh,
Hawaii.
It's from New Jersey, not Hawaii. I don't know why I thought New Jersey. Somebody's watching from Mahwah, New Jersey. I've never heard of that place, but it sounds amazing. Like, I want to know where that name came from. Nancy is watching from Mahwah, New Jersey. So welcome, Nancy. Nice to have you tonight. Yeah, we've got this really, really cool thing to share with you. We're going to talk about that later. We also, tonight, we're going to be presenting we're going to tell you about a behind the scenes on the car crash in the short film. If you've watched the short film, you probably have not forgotten the car crash.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly what we're talking about. We've heard from so many people, they watch it, 10, 20 times, and they still jump every single time at that car crash.
That was always my favorite part when we're doing the screenings, is sitting in the back and knowing that moment's coming, and then you see everybody just freak out.
Yeah. No, it is a kind of a fun moment. It's kind of a freak out moment. But we're going to share with you kind of how we put that together on a very low budget. For those of you that don't know, we shot The Shift on a $500 budget. Yeah. So if you're looking at that film and you're like, hey, this doesn't look like the Avengers, there's a reason for that. And also, no films look like the Avengers, so why are you even bringing that up?
Yeah, we had 500, not 500 million. So
exactly.
Slight difference.
A little bit of an economic difference there. But one of the reasons that we're doing this whole thing right now and talking about The Shift is because we want to take that $500 short film and turn it into a legit movie. Yeah. And for that, we need more money. So if you're interested in this short film becoming so much more, please go to angel.com/The Shift and pledge that for us. So we know that you're interested. Let's see. We, one of the other ways that we are taking this short film and making it into so much more is that we've brought on talent and people who know so much about making quality content, not just Christian content, but just quality movies in the first place and quality shows in general. Some of the people that we've brought on are the composers for The Chosen, Matt Nelson and Dan Hasseltine, and also Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen himself, is one of our executive producers. And you know what? Let's hear from Dallas. Let's throw it to Dallas right now. Let's see what he has to say about The Shift and why he has come on board as one of our executive producers.
Hey there, I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money, but I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where The Shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So The Shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do, is help them maximize the budget that they do have and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get, enough to make something special. And I think the message of The Shift and the future of The Shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise, but I can tell you I've seen his work on a writing side, I've seen it on the directing side, and in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business, and that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it, but it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
And my unworthiness sees me that I may be worthy tomorrow.
I am greater than God.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
And that's what The Shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
Express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today to be among the first to know if the offering launches.
All right, so that was Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, letting us know why he has signed on as an executive producer. Dallas has been such a help already in kind of, even just mentoring us through this crowdfunding process. Obviously The Chosen went and did that. He's been such a great help. He's going to continue to be a help as we go into production on the film, just kind of giving us the benefit of his knowledge and his experience as a 20-year veteran within the film industry. If you do have any, got Kara here. She says we should listen to Dallas. Marie says, look forward to participating. Marie, I hope you've had a chance to pledge. Kara's full comment was, we should listen to Dallas. Brock is someone to get behind. He said, pour into. That is a really cool phrase.
Yeah.
He wants to pour into this project and into me as a filmmaker. I really did not tell Dallas to say that part. And I find it somewhat embarrassing every single time we get to that point in the video, but I am very grateful, very grateful. Hey, let's do a goal tonight. Let's have this goal. If we can get to $10,000 in pledges during this live stream, we're going to do something special. We started at, let me think, what did we start at tonight? John in the booth there, what did we start at to get to our 10,000? Oh, we started at 1,904,000 when we started this live stream, and we're already at 1,918,738. So we blew past the 10,000. So we blew past the 10,000. So
we're almost up to 15.
So we are not ambitious
That's awesome.
enough.
That's exciting.
No, that's exciting. That is an incredible number. So
first, for real quick, just side note here, like Brock and I have been really kind of blown away by this whole thing over the last couple of weeks.
Totally.
If for those of you who've been tracking with us since day one, like it was a struggle to get to like 10,000.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, when nobody knew who we were, doing.
And then it became, and it was like months and months went by before we got to like 100,000.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And now we've been sitting back and like we're seeing these numbers going up by like $100,000 in a day, and it's just like, this is awesome, man.
Yeah.
This is God's good, and this is exciting, and we're gonna get to make this movie.
Well, that's what we think is gonna happen. We haven't decided to open up yet, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I mean, the investment.
Oh yeah, but no, absolutely. The interest is there.
The interest does seem to be there. Yes.
Yeah. And so we're excited about that. So just keep that coming.
Yeah, keep that coming. We still want to see that interest. All right. So, but we've already hit our goal. So I think you have to do it. I want to know, Orlando, what is your favorite sci-fi property?
Sci-fi property.
Like that can be a movie. That can be a TV show.
Okay.
That could be a book, although I know with you it's not going to be.
Yeah. Books. Yeah. Books.
Yeah.
I stopped reading books in high school. That was kind of.
There's so much great stuff out there.
Oddly enough, the last book series I read was Left Behind.
Oh,
which,
okay.
There's a connection to Dallas there. His dad was the co-author.
And you're like,
series.
I have now read the pinnacle of books. I no longer need to read anymore. Left Behind is it.
That's it. Okay, so.
Oh wait, we got a message from Tina here. She says, "I pledged, but if it goes forward, I can pledge more."
I like that. Thank you.
That's our kind of thinking, Tina. That's awesome.
Appreciate that. Okay, so I guess we'll split the property thing into two things. Okay, so favorite sci-fi movie, hands down, is Inception.
Oh yeah.
I think that's sitting in the theater. The first time I saw that, I was like taken to a whole other. Like my mind was just like, it was like pure joy. It was a great ride. Great narrative, looked fantastic. I love the uncertainty of the ending. Like everything about it was like it was speaking to me.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like probably my favorite property. I guess I don't know if it would really qualify as sci-fi. It's more comic book. I guess
I don't even know what you're talking.
But comic books. Would you?
Oh, comic
like
books?
Superheroes? Would you like superheroes?
No, you got to be more specific than that.
Okay, X-Men.
X-Men. Okay, yeah.
X-Men.
Totally.
X-Men is probably like my favorite like franchise of all time. Just the all the individual stories and all the lives that are going in there, and kind of similar with like what we're doing with the shift and how there's these it's fiction, but there's real world parallels and real world lessons. I felt like X-Men was full of that.
Yeah, no, X-Men does a great job of like talking about civil rights and racism, but doing it through the lens of mutants, of these people with powers.
Superheroes. Reluctant
superheroes.
or otherwise.
Totally. Michael and Jackie just pledged $1,000, and somebody just before them pledged $1,000 as well. So thank you, Michael and Jackie. We just got another pledge also for $150. So those are just rolling in, which gives us a lot of confidence, I think, and will as we go forward.
Yeah.
X-Men's a good pick. Inception's a good pick. I love both of those.
So those are my picks.
Awesome. If you want to pledge, head over to angel.com/theshift. That's where we're doing all of that. And if you do, I think there was a question earlier too that I glanced at and asked if we need actors. And I don't remember who asked that question, so I apologize for missing your name. But the quick answer to that is that, that was from Larry. Larry asked, do we need actors? Yes, Larry, we do need actors. However, at this moment, we're not currently there yet. Once we have our funding in place, that is the very next step, is to start going out to actors. And really what we need to do is establish who the leads of this film are first. And I'm talking about Satan and I'm talking about Kevin. Once those two roles are cast, then I think we're going to start looking out to the supporting roles and the day players and the bit parts and things like that. Right. Those are really crucial roles, and those are roles that one of the reasons that we are seeking a higher budget is because we are looking to cast name actors, and all that really means is just actors who you have heard of. Cindy just pledged $100. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Awesome, thank you.
We're looking to cast actors that you have heard of, because I don't know if you've noticed this, but usually when you go to a movie in the theater, there's people you somewhat recognize that are in that movie. And if you don't somewhat recognize them and you're going to see it, it's probably a horror film. Otherwise, you're not there, or at least most of the rest of the public isn't. So what we're looking to do here is we're looking to make a movie that's a crossover, a movie that isn't just appealing to people like us, Christians, but a movie that can appeal to other people as well.
Yeah.
Lots of other people who maybe just would never even watch a Christian or a faith-based film. And one of the ways that we're going to reach across that aisle is by having some recognizable faces that they're like, oh yeah, that guy's good. I think this movie could be good.
Well, and like that comment that I shared with you, was it yesterday or the day before, how someone had posted something effective like, they saw the pitch video. Like, I'm not a Christian.
Right.
But you had me hooked. Like, I'm very interested in what this is. Like, you got my vote.
Yeah.
So and that's awesome. That's what we want. That's what we're going for. And
that's what we see the shift is doing. John, can you pop that question back up one more time? I missed it. I want to be sure and get that. Becky says, I couldn't stop watching the short film, The Shift. It drew me in. That is why I donated the first time. That's awesome, Becky. We so appreciate your support. And just to be clear, we are not asking for donations. No one has ever donated to anything to this film. These are investments. So you become a partner with us when you invest into The Shift. We don't just toss a t-shirt. Fernando says, how can I pledge? Fernando, go to angel.com/theshift. And you'll see right there, there's a button that says back this project or something like that. You click on that. It honestly takes like a minute or two to make a pledge. It's a really, really quick process. And then you're going to, by pledging, you make sure that we get in touch with you if we decide to go ahead and open up the investments.
Right.
Which, just to be clear, we are not doing that tonight. That is not happening yet.
But circling back to the investment, the investment component, that's why we're doing this whole testing the waters in the first place, is because it's not a donation. So we can't just just take whatever you give us, like, because there is rigor involved in that. It's, SEC regulated. Like we have all these ducks in a row and there's all these expenses that go with it. So we have to make sure the demand is there before we open that up and put that time and that effort. And so that's why we're doing this in the first place. We're wanting to make the case that it is worth doing. Right.
Pamela just pledged $100. Thank you so much, Pamela. All right, let's move into let's talk about this car crash scene. So in the short film, there's this really quick but really jarring and jolting car crash scene. And you look at it, and I think that most people look at that thing and they don't think, oh, $500 short film. Like, it looks a lot more impressive than that. And look, one of the reasons for that is because we had a lot of very talented people volunteer their time. We had a talented director of photography, Kyle Jentz. We had a talented special effects guy, Chris Loking. We had, Orlando driving the truck that hit the car.
Yeah, I caused the accident.
You did. You were evil. And so that's one of the reasons why this film looks as good as it does in that scene in particular. But I want to talk for just a little bit about how we put that scene together. So obviously we did not, crash a car. When you see that truck slam into the car like that, what you're actually seeing is two pieces of footage, one running forward and one running backwards.
So kind of like Tenet.
Kind of like Tenet. Kind of like Tenet, where things are running forwards and backwards at the same time. So what Kevin is doing in the car, he's speaking and then he's getting jolted around. That's him running forward.
You're right.
But everything that's happening outside of the car is actually backwards footage. So what we did is we put the car right at the window, or the truck.
Yes,
it was your truck. We put it right at the window, and then we had Orlando throw the truck in reverse and then just go back as fast as he could. Then we took that footage and we married it with the footage of Kevin in the car, basically just replacing everything outside of that with the footage of the truck going in reverse. And I think we also sped that footage up quite a bit to make it go even faster. But by doing it that way, it looks like the truck is slamming into the car, when really the truck, yes, it was like an inch away from that car, but that's where we started the truck, not where we ended the truck. So you didn't have to worry about, accidentally hitting the car. And since it was my car, I really, really didn't want to accidentally hit that car. We actually still have that car. My daughter drives it.
It was my dad's truck, so I definitely did not want to.
No, that would have been bad. And then what you're seeing there with the glass, if John, can you go ahead and pause it on the glass crack right there? Yeah, you can see that glass that's cracking there. That's all special effects.
It's all composite.
That's all special effects. It's all compositing work done by Chris Loafing, our visual effects guy. But the glass that's coming into the car, there's obviously a digital effect happening on the glass that's right next to Kevin. You know, that glass that's right next to his driver's side. That glass is breaking digitally, but the glass that's like coming through the window and shooting at him and bouncing all around the interior of the car, that is actually real. It's not glass, it's actually sugar glass.
It's sugar glass,
yeah. It's glass made out of sugar, made by my wife in our oven. So that's a truly low budget effect, but it worked out really well.
And another thing you point out, because I think we kind of just glossed over, and again, we take these things for granted.
Sure.
So that shot of inside the car of Kevin and all the glass, that's shot on a green screen. So there's actually
Right.
Otherwise, we'd be seeing the street or whatever. So we have to put the green screen. So then we have to crop all of that out. And so it's just empty space in where the green screen would be, and then you place the footage of the truck.
And we have footage of that. John, let's see the BTS footage, the behind the scenes footage. So here is us filming the forward footage. And we've got that green screen set up, and we've got our
it's a glass throw.
Look, movie magic is magic for a reason. It looks insanely ridiculous from the outside, but when you composite it all together, it looks great. But yeah, that's Cody Fletcher, one of our grips. He's got this box full of sugar glass. Tray is really a tray full of sugar glass. Jason just pledged $1,000. Jason, you're awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and he's literally just throwing that on him. And as you can see, Greg, our actor playing Kevin, he's just miming all that movement. All that the car isn't moving. He's just doing that.
I remember I think we
Robin just pledged $1,000.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This is going crazy tonight.
If I recall correctly, I think we rocked the car a little bit.
Oh, did we rock the car?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we did. I think on the second takes. I think we did a couple takes on this, didn't we?
Got it. I think we did do a couple of takes. And you can see in the back seat there, that's me and Kyle and Chris. And we're just kind of like I'm just directing and Kyle's trying to shoot and man the camera. But anyway, and that's the camera kind of like on our side of the car there, that's the camera that's mounted to the car. But yeah, that's how we did that whole scene. So it was really simple when you think about it and you break it all down, but the elements really came together. And then of course the second part of I missed it earlier. Sherry pledged $25. Thank you so much, Sherry. Really appreciate that. Every pledge counts.
Absolutely.
So the second part of this actually is another effect scene, and that's the post-crash. Let's throw up the post-crash and take a look at that. So this is actually our introduction to Satan. And Kevin is now, after the crash, he's waking up. He sees this guy talking to him. He looks over, and he sees his car on fire. And then this idiot runs through the fire on the other side of the car. That idiot, by the way, John, let's go over to that footage again of the idiot running by the car through the fire for no good reason. Let's see if we can freeze on him. Where is there? That guy. That guy is actually me. That's me. I don't know why I'm running. Just accept that it adds a little bit of chaos.
It's funny. The first time I saw that, I was like, that wasn't me, was it? Did I ruin the shot?
You ruined the shot?
I was like racking my brain. Like, I know I was in the truck. Did I get out of it? Please tell me that wasn't me.
No, that was me, and I did it on purpose. And then Chris did all that stuff, messing up the car and making it look like it's all broken. All of that is digital effect. All the smoke is a digital effect. All the fire and the fire is a digital effect as well. And actually, this is two shots. There's a cut that happens when the camera pans over. It pans back over right there. That is where the cut happens, where we're just looking at the sky.
It's a white point.
Yeah, so we did this actually in two different shots. We just had the basically what's happening is Kyle, our DP, is laying down on the ground with the camera pointed up to look at Travis, our actor playing Satan. And then he just moves over. There's nothing there. And then we reset. We got the car ready, and then we did that, and he moves it back up, and then we just stitched two shots together. You can't even tell what's happening. Luckily, it was a white sky that day. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it was like nice, it's kind of overcast, and worked out really well. You couldn't even tell where the cut happens. In fact, I still don't know. Go for it.
Kevin pledged $500. Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. And someone pledged 1,000. What is happening? And another one with 1,000. Is this okay? And another person with $1,000 pledging.
Holy cow, indeed.
Holy cow is right.
Wow.
We've never
Thank you.
seen this kind of movement.
No.
I think on pledging or anything. We're up to $1,928,214 just in pledges right now. I think it's fair to say we may be heading to 2 million in pledges very, very soon here. If not during this live stream, then maybe not too long afterwards. Incredible to see, really incredible. And honestly, as Orlando said, this has been a true labor of love and something that's been in the works for a while. So it is humbling and exciting to see, honestly, to see what God's doing with this, because I know I have felt His hand on this from the very beginning. I know you have. Yeah. And it's just so exciting to see how many other people now see the same thing that we do and are doing, putting as much into it as we are.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a trial to a certain extent over the years. But like you said, like we can see the intervention every step of the way. Like a lot of things fall through and don't work out the way we want. And then something happens that kind of keeps our spirits, from completely falling apart and carrying on. And always just this feeling of like, okay, we're still making progress, still moving forward. Things are a little different than we expect, but we're getting there. God's got to be doing something here. And so like this whole thing and seeing how this is playing out is like the evidence of that. It's the culmination of all that just hanging on.
Yeah. It's a little validating.
It's a little validating.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time for us to peel back the curtain and reveal the big thing that we're all here for. Let's face it, you guys are all waiting for us to reveal our big thing. But before we do that, I know. Let's check out that pitch video one more time. We're going to get everything ready on our end, and then we're going to come back and we're going to release not the Kraken, but something big of that magnitude. Here we go. Pitch video.
Why does Hollywood always get Bible movies so wrong? How could you cast Batman as Moses and still have the movie be more boring than church? Plus, they should have saved Christian Bale to play Jacob. There are two problems when it comes to faith-based movies. Number one, most Christian films look cheap because they don't have the budget. Money may be the root of all evil, but it's also the root of a good movie. The second problem is when Hollywood attempts to make their own faith movie, which is when you get Noah talking to rock monsters. Was a global flood not epic enough for you, Hollywood? Most faith-based movies fall apart quickly.
Get that fire.
And watching them is like walking on Legos with your eyes. It's hard to feel God in a faith-based film when they have the production value of a church play.
I don't feel safe!
Hey, you don't cry until the last scene!
Pray for them.
Yeah,
Hollywood has all of the production value, but none of the Christian value. How can we as believers enjoy a faith-based film that's as enjoyable as a blockbuster, but retains the power and truth of the Bible? We need a Hollywood-quality movie created by actual believers, and that movie is The Shift. It's about a man who meets the devil himself and gets banished to a dark, parallel Earth where he fights to get back to the woman he loves. The script explores some of today's hardest questions about maintaining faith, like how can a loving God allow suffering? Or how can I overcome feelings of despair and hopelessness? Finally, you can see a faith-based film that feels like your favorite movies. The Shift is a sci-fi film that will make you think deeply like Inception and weep like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar. Man, even his ugly cry looks good. I can't do it. I can't. I'm not that talented. Using popular genres to share faith-based stories is a great way to entertain and inspire a love for God. Look at C.S. Lewis, who used fantasy to share Christian themes and inspire millions. And make millions. Even Jesus used creative storytelling to make his sermons more interesting. Parables. I'm talking about parables. We need your help to turn The Shift into a full-length feature film. But rather than pass around a donation plate, we want you to own part of the movie. Express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today to be among the first to know if the offering launches. The plan is for The Shift to be distributed by Angel Studios, which helped The Chosen become the largest crowdfunded media project of all time. Angel Studios' distribution of The Chosen then went on to generate over $70 million in revenue and over 250 million views. Here's what the creator of The Chosen has to say about the shift.
I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift, and I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level.
Angel Studios also helped the Wing Feather Saga, an animated fantasy series created by a Christian author, become the largest crowdfunded kids and family animated project in history. When you invest in The Shift, you're not just investing in a groundbreaking Christian film. You have the potential to share in the profits. Now, we don't have one of these prophets to promise that you'll make this profit. But I am going to repeat that The Chosen earned $70 million in revenue. That's the highest earning faith-based project of the last 2 years. The Shift not only has the incredible potential in the marketplace, it's just an incredible movie. Listen to these reviews from folks who watched the short film. Jane F. wrote, "This looks amazing. I've never seen a faith-based film like this." Ronnie said, "There's actually no way to convey how this spoke to me just now. I look forward to seeing what God does with this film." And Jason commented recently with, "Wow, just wow." And what will really wow you is discovering that the short film was created with almost zero budget and it has already touched hundreds of thousands of lives. Imagine the impact the Shift can have on hearts and minds with the proper funds. Most indie Christian films operate with a budget of about $500,000, and honestly, it shows. She's fine. Maybe the little shepherd boy could say a quick prayer? Yep, we good? With 10 times the production value, we can truly do justice to the epic themes in the Bible. So express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today. Look, there's nothing wrong with a film that's a labor of love, but those usually just become cult classics, which is not the best label for a Christian movie to receive. Enjoy Sunday morning values with Saturday night entertainment. Click on the link to express your interest in backing The Shift today to be among the first to know if the offering launches.
So historically, we have a problem with unmuting. I think this is the first time we've forgotten to mute.
Yes,
we're in new territory here, folks.
Yes, a little bit. So you guys all heard some of our backstage banter. I don't remember what we said. Hopefully we didn't embarrass ourselves too much, but let's just all move on from that incident. We've had some incredible activity during that pitch video. Someone pledged $500.
Awesome.
Somebody else pledged another $500. Someone else pledged $1,000. This is all within the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Someone else pledged $150.
Nice.
Glenn pledged $1,000.
Thanks, Glenn.
Someone else came in with another $150. And even another with $1,000.
Jeez.
Is that are we done for now? I mean, we don't need to be. We can just keep announcing numbers, but
keep it rolling.
It's an incredible thing that is happening tonight.
That's awesome.
It is truly awesome.
All right. So what's the surprise?
Okay, we're moving on. We're gonna you guys probably want to know what's going on. Okay, so here's the thing that's going on. Last April, about 6 months ago, we did this crazy thing for 3 weeks. We released the script to the feature film to an unsuspecting public.
So crazy.
So crazy. It was a subject of a lot of debate because honestly, I don't know of any other filmmaker who's ever done that before, who's taken their feature film script, this closely guarded thing, and just said, hey, anybody wants to read it? Go for it. Judge me, judge my work, judge what we're going to do. Take this thing in its embryonic form and assess it, and you can just think whatever you want about it. Nobody has ever done that with the public, but we did it. And we did it because for a couple of different reasons. Number one, because there was a lot of confidence that, hey, this script is really good. And look, I wrote it. I'm not saying that because I said it was really good. I mean, I thought it was good or I wouldn't have done it. But we were just getting a lot of feedback from our industry partners, from the people at Angel Studios. Like everybody who was reading the script was like, holy crud. And so that was thought number one. Thought number two was, hey, we're asking people to invest in this movie. They should know what this movie is. I mean, that's what you would do with any kind of investor is you would send them the script first thing. You'd say, here, take a look at this. If you want to know whether or not you want to put money into it, you should read this script. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
And so when we started thinking about that, we're like, okay, well, maybe this isn't so crazy.
Right.
So we let it out. The response was absolutely incredible. And then 3 weeks later, we pulled it because our crowdfunding round was
crazy.
over. Because it was crazy, because we didn't want to have it out there forever. It's special. And those that got to see it at that time, they were special because they got to see it. And then it was gone. So we are pleased to announce that right now at angel.com/the shift, the script is back.
It's back.
It is back. Not only is it back, but it is in a whole new form. I went back to the drawing board, taking some of the comments that I received from people because we released it into the wild. Yeah, we got some good feedback.
We could tighten some things up.
Some interesting feedback, but also some good feedback. And I took some of that good feedback and I realized kind of where maybe the script, could have used a little bit of tweaking. Nothing really dramatic, but enough to satisfy some of the concerns that I was seeing.
Right.
And I made a draft 10. And draft 10 is what is now available at angel.com/the shift. I need water.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister.
You say something.
I mean, so we were really kicking around the idea of doing it again. Just kind of back up, like when we first put it out, it was so crazy. Like Brock and I were on the phone, and I'm like, Brock, you're gonna do what? Like, mind you, my role is to protect Brock and protect the project. I'm like, dude, like you can't do that. That's totally backwards what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But he sold me on it, and this time it was a lot easier. So
yeah,
there it is.
Kara, who's one of the people who read it back when we first released it, she says, Brock is a risk taker, a wise risk taker. It was an awesome move. It seemed really stupid at the time, Kara, but it did work out. So thankfully for that. Oh, something else. Rick says, yes, I didn't get to see it last time. Thanks so much. Rick, you are why we are releasing it, because in the last few weeks, we've had so many people.
A lot of requests.
Because we've had people saying, yeah, I read the script. I read the script. And then somebody else in the comments will be like, wait a minute, where do you read the script? How can I read the script? And then we tell them, sorry, you can't. That's gone. So it's for you, people like Rick, that we have brought the script back. And look, we know that not everybody wants to read, a 120-page script. So we've also released an audio version. So if you go to angel.com/the shift, scroll all the way down, you can choose how you want to experience this thing. You can either read it or you can listen to it. It's totally up to you. And yes, that meant that I had to get our readers back to record new lines. I had to do the voiceover. I read all the stage directions. I had to do all that again, or at least the new parts. So we've gone back in. We've redone all of these things. They're all in place. And actually, we even redid some things that hadn't changed. We just redid it anyway, just because we can make it better. So this is a better audio version. This is a better script, and it's now available for you, anybody, not just investors. Anybody who wants to read, we encourage you to go. And look, we've had this pitch video out now for a few weeks, and we've had a lot of people coming to the shift for the first time, and a lot of them have questions. Like one of the things we've got was, why do you need more money to make a 2-hour version, a Christian version of My Dinner with Andre? And for those of you that don't know, My Dinner with Andre was a critically acclaimed film back in the 70s. Basically 2 guys in a restaurant talking for 2 hours. Right. That's all it was. Compelling, but that's all it was. And so I could see how, if you see the short film, you're like,
you think that's all it is?
You think that's all it is?
We're going to stretch that out for 2 hours.
But as anybody who has read the script can tell you, the shift feature film is so much more than that. What you see in the short film is really just kicking off a very much bigger story.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take our word for it anymore. Now you can go and you can find out for yourself.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
You don't have to take our word for it.
Exactly. Just like Reading Rainbow. Hey, someone just pledged $150. Thank you. And another one just came in with $500. And Michael pledged $500.
Thank you, Michael.
My goodness. And someone pledged $558. We love the specificity. Thank you so much. And another pledger came in with $500. What in the world are we even at right now? Like I can't even keep track. And someone pledged $100 just now too, because that's the theme of tonight. And another $1,000 pledger. I don't know, Orlando. I feel like people are saying they want us to open another round. It's just this gut thing for me.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. But look, there were a lot of people who read the script the first time, and one of them, her name is Sarah. And Sarah did us a great favor, and she put herself on tape just to express her feeling of reading the script and experiencing it for the first time. And we want to share that with you right now. This is Sarah and her reaction to the Shift feature film script.
So my name is Sarah Rose Wasson. I'm a screenwriter and a musician. And I honestly thought I was like one of the only people who really felt like creating films that reach the lost and the unsaved with a message about God that isn't preachy, but that actually will meet them where they're at. So I was so excited to read The Shift because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. It's brilliant. It's edgy. Using this like dystopian future sci-fi kind of Orwellian setting is perfect for right now because we are currently living in a dystopian Orwellian sci-fi reality. It's such a brilliant concept because you could show anybody who isn't a Christian this film, they would get it, they would like it, it would be interesting to them, and it would plant these seeds of, do you choose the evil or the good in you? Do you seek for a God who's out there even in the midst of the darkness, or do you give in to your selfish desires, which is basically letting Satan control you? I was so blown away by the script. It just read so quickly and so beautifully, and being a screenwriter and having grown up in the entertainment industry as a kid, I'm pretty picky about scripts. Every single page is just like boom, boom, boom. It just flows. And I have no doubt, and I have full confidence that if Brock can write a script that's that tight and that brilliant and that innovative and that edgy and that, it's like paradigm breaking. This is the kind of script that can totally reach across to the lost, to anybody out there in the world right now who doesn't know God, but who's going, what is going on? Like, is there something bigger out there? Like, if there's a God, how can all this be happening? And if there is a God, how do I get to know him? And how do I not get caught up in the evil that's taking our world apart? This is the kind of script that can just reach right into that person's heart and speak to them.
All right, that was Sarah. We were so blown away by her response.
Great response.
Her heartfelt response. Mm-hmm. And there's actually, it was a 10-minute video. You just saw a 2-minute cut down. But Sarah actually has a lot more to say. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from her again on some a future live stream. But her reaction, especially as a person who grew up in the industry, as someone who is a screenwriter, her reaction was very special to me because she is definitely approaching it as a storyteller.
Yeah. It's the same thing that we both felt, right? And that was my attraction to the project. It's like, it's this feeling that there's been this void in, a separation between our craft and our faith. And it feels like this like glimmer of hope that maybe we can finally align these things. And, and that's what I was getting from her. And it spoke to me, and it spoke to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. I think that's it. It's that, we feel like there is something different to be done in faith film. That the faith films that have come out so far, there have been some very good ones, but there have been a lot. I would say the majority of them have been kind of speaking to one audience, which is that's exclusively kind of Christian audience. Those who are kind of already bought in, and we are really looking to do something very different than that. Right. And I think there's room for both kinds of films.
Correct.
And this film is very much designed to reach across that aisle and say to people, hey, here's a really great story. Right. And if they come away with some ideas about God and his power and his sovereignty. Thank you. I was like, I know I'm saying this word wrong. His sovereignty. Then that's a great thing. That's a really good thing. That's a thing worthy of doing. Right. And let's make a movie that's of the caliber that we love, but let's also have it express something about our faith. That's the goal here. That's what we're trying to do. And judging by the number of pledgers we're getting, that is something that you want to see happen too. And if you know that, like, hey, this is something that needs to happen, please go to angel.com/theshift and pledge your support. Let us know. And that way, if we do open up another round of crowdfunding, you will be among the very first to know. We have just a little bit of time left. We can answer any outstanding questions. If there's anything that we haven't addressed yet, now's the time to, type it out real quick, and we'll make sure that our moderator gets it over to us. But we are just so grateful that you're joining us tonight. David says, is there a requirement of additional investment for the current access to the script? David, there's a requirement of 0 investment to have access to the script.
Yeah, not this time.
Okay, you do not need to invest at all. This is to help you to decide whether or not you want to invest. So please go to the website right now, angel.com/theshift, scroll all the way down and hit on either read or listen, and you're off to the races. You don't need to do anything else.
What was that question? Can you bring that back up?
Yeah, what was that other question that we missed? Jessica Nielsen says, has the script changed much since the script release in the first round? So, Jessica, it hasn't changed dramatically. So I think that anybody who enjoyed the script the first time isn't going to read this and be like, wait a minute, you took out my favorite part. I don't think that's happening. But what did happen is that, I'll give you an example. So there was a question at the beginning of the second act of kind of like, what is Kevin's motivation? Yeah. What is he trying to do?
That stereotypical question of, what is my motivation?
What is my motivation?
What is my motivation?
But people were reading and feeling like, hey, there's like 20 to 30 pages here where I don't really know what Kevin's trying to do.
Yeah.
And that, not my intent as a writer. Even the best storytellers, though, can make simple mistakes like that. So one of the changes that I made is that I went back in to the beginning of that second act. In the beginning of the second act, for those of you that just if you're going to read it, it's right after he leaves the diner. Essentially, is when the second act begins, and that's where I figured, okay, I can find some ways to put in his motivation there. So that's one of the changes that I made. Robin asks, can you explain what investing in the shift means for those that are new? Yeah. So Robin, if you, and look, I want to preface this by saying we are not currently open for investment. We're not asking for any money right now. We're only asking you to pledge what you would like to invest. And if we were to open it up. But speaking as though we've already opened it up and investment is going on, what that would entail is you invest in the shift, and that means that you are now partners with us.
Correct.
You own a piece of this movie, and you, as one of our partners, as an investor, you, if the movie makes money, will receive 120% return on your investment before we, the creators, receive any profits at all. So that's, and then after that, once we are able to get, once there's enough money to pay you back, and then we can start earning some money too, then you'll continue to receive money based on your ownership share of the movie
proportionate
itself.
to the overall
Proportionate to the overall investment.
Correct.
Hopefully that all makes sense. But that's basically how it works.
So Rick is asking, any location secured and set? Maybe Texas?
Rick, I can't say that Texas is on our radar for shooting. We are kind of going back and forth between two different locations. One in California, Fresno, where we live, and then also we are looking at the Atlanta, Georgia area. We did a scout trip, a location scouting trip, not too long ago, and it went well. But we still haven't quite decided where to shoot this film.
Yeah, pros and cons to each.
Yeah,
it's really kind of just crunching the numbers and kind of just making some judgment calls at this point.
Yeah. I imagine that once we are through this, once we have the funding in place,
the full funding.
Yeah, the full funding in place, we'll be making those decisions probably very, very quickly. But for now, we've tabled it. Okay, last question here from Amanda. Did you already have a few actors in mind for the lead roles? That is a yes or no question, and Amanda, and I appreciate that. So I will answer it very simply. Yes. And that 100%. Is all we have to say about that. Hopefully we can talk more about that later. But yes, we do have some actors in mind.
Yeah.
We are so grateful to you for joining us tonight. We always have fun talking with you. We appreciate your questions. We appreciate the massive amount of pledges that we've gotten tonight.
Look at that.
We're all the way up to $1,946,797 pledged at this point. That is an incredible number. Could we hit 2 million before midnight tonight? It is entirely possible. I have no idea, but it's possible.
I'm sure you're going to text me at midnight when it happens.
I will. Lauren just pledged $25. Rosemary just pledged $500.
Wow, awesome.
Rosemary, you are awesome. Thank you. And another $150. Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Shout out to the Shift fan club on Facebook. If you're not aware of this, there is a fan-created Shift fan club. I like to drop in there and drop some fan club exclusive tidbits. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, or you want to connect with other Shift fans, that's where you go. That's the Facebook Shift fan club. So be sure and check that out. And of course, go to angel.com/theshift to not only pledge, but also scroll down to the bottom there, and you can read or listen to the script. It's all yours. Judge my work, ye masses. It's for you. But yeah, we think you're going to read it. We think you're going to like what you see. And,
Absolutely.
And we're just going. We can't wait to see what happens next and where we're going with this. I suspect next week you'll hear from us again, and we'll have even bigger things to share with you.
Some things in the works,
because there's so much in the works that we haven't even told you about yet. But anyways, thank you again. I'm Brock Heasley, the writer and director of The Shift.
I'm Orlando J. Gomez, producer of The Shift.
And we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, y'all.
Hey there, I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money, but I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where The Shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So The Shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do, is help them maximize the budget that they do have and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get, enough to make something special. And I think the message of The Shift and the future of The Shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise, but I can tell you I've seen his work on a writing side, I've seen it on the directing side, and in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business, and that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it, but it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
And my unworthiness seems me that I may be worthy tomorrow.
I am greater than God.
Jesus
I
Christ.
am again.
And that's what The Shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
Express your interest in backing The Shift by clicking on the link today to be among the first to know if the offering launches.
Thank you.